Hello everyone, I'm Dark Lady, or Kira, and I don't typically film reaction videos. It's not something I've practiced very much in content creation. However, this new cinematic I have been asked by a lot of people to watch and react to. So here I am. There are particular characters that everybody knows I freak out about and I cry over. So I have watched this on my phone in a parking lot because I was out when this cinematic dropped. So now we're gonna watch it for the first time on an actual computer monitor with proper sound and proper everything. And I'm excited to. Hell yeah. And then we'll talk a little about it afterwards. So let's go ahead and get into it.
You wind runners. You just don't know when to lay down and die.
We windrunners are just stubborn that way.
You.
I love
I
this
honestly
outfit.
didn't factor for you.
Death comes for all, Zalatan. Even your wretched kind.
We'll finish this another time, perhaps.
So a couple interesting lore notes. In the Three Sisters Sylvanas comic, the Void is afraid of Sylvanas. So very interesting to have her appear out of pretty much nowhere in front of Zolototh, and for Zolototh to go, alright, I guess we're done then.
I thought you said you could never leave the moor.
There are ways, nephew. But they do take their toll. Regardless, you told me that Silvermoon was in peril. That it needed its Ranger General one last time.
Sylvanas, if the Maw cannot hold you, then maybe there's a way back for you. Back to us.
My penance, my true work has only begun, little sister. The Shadowlands are not at all what they seem. I cannot rest until I've uncovered the truth. Still, I hope to see you both again before the end begins.
I love her so much. This is such an interesting one. I love that Sylvanas gets to basically aura farm for a minute and a half. Having them hug is really cute, or having Verisa hug her is really cute. One of the last times Verisa and Sylvanas really interacted and saw each other, outside of like the Garrosh thing, where Sylvanas is like, help me poison him, and she ends up not, is them being really angry at each other. Because it was after Lyrith was murdered, and Sylvanas was really angry that Verisa started training him. And Sylvanas almost punches Verisa, and Nathanos stopped her. So that parallel, I don't know if it's a purposeful parallel, I also kind of like that Verisa almost mirrors, I think, player reactions to seeing Sylvanas again. That some players are going to be really angry, and then the other players are going to be extremely happy to see her. Now, Varese isn't extremely excited to see her, but like there's more of that affection to seeing her again, kind of thing, and wanting her to be around and wanting to stay. It is very interesting that they're now giving Sylvanas an avenue to pop in and out of the Maw. Thanks, Blizzard, for having a cinematic that explains how I've been at parties and football games with Sylvanas. I'm just gonna be like, she does it in cinematic. I love that the time she appears is for her family. I think that's a really important character thing for Sylvanas. And it's so interesting that she keeps... So we saw Sylvanas already right before pre-patch, right? And she was talking about how the void is in the Maw and there's something wrong with the Maw and the Shadowlands. And she's saying it again and talking about how the Shadowlands isn't what it seems, and like it has made me hypothesize that her bigger role is in The Last Titan, maybe, or something to do with the Shadowlands. And there was a quote from, I forget if it was Bolvar or Venari back in Shadowlands, that mortal eyes were never meant to look upon the Shadowlands, and the Shadowlands, like, isn't exactly what you see. And I can't remember who said that, or like maybe I'm combining two different character like quotes or something. But it is very as soon as Zoltoth says the line,
You just don't know when to lay down and die.
that's exactly when I knew that they were gonna have Sylvanas appear. That is a very in introducing Sylvanas Windrunner kind of quote. There wasn't a moment I thought it would be a Larry or something. I was like, oh, I mean, if they're gonna have Sylvanas pop out of nowhere, that would be a line to kind of introduce her. That's also her Shadowlands arrow. I also really love... So, one of my big, like... This is a silly Kira thing. This is a silly Kira thing. When Sylvanas appeared in Shadowlands...
Windrunners.
In this outfit, she didn't have that bow during her, like... appearance in this outfit. They kept having her switch between her Warchief bow and her Shadowlands bow, and it was driving me up the walls. Because she does have this bow. So I'm glad that they have her using it. Because it's like a small little dumb thing. That, like, I have all her bows, so I was like, but when's she gonna use the bow I have? It's her bow. When's she gonna use, like, very silly.
Are just stubborn that way.
I just love getting to see her again. And I'm very, excited and interested to see what role they will now have her play in World of Warcraft and in Azeroth, or I guess outside of Azeroth. Like, is she going to be this being that exists inside the Shadowlands because it's not what we seem it to be? I really love that she takes sentiment in having been the Ranger General. Like, of course, it was very important to her. It's how she has her family. It's how she met Nathanos. Like, that's her whole legacy, is that. And I'm very... As soon as they were like, we're doing this midnight thing with Quel'Danas, I was like, well, you have to do something with Sylvanas, because that was... Her whole character story is... I lived in Quel'Danas my whole life. You know, I was the Ranger General. My family is deeply tied to Silvermoon. I died protecting this place. I was tortured by Arthas and made to kill my own people, which I really liked that the Air Tour cinematic showed that, because that's something, like, if you read different lore or books they've talked about, especially the Sylvanas novel, they talk about Sylvanas was not in control of herself and she was being forced to kill her own people, and that's one of the big, like, trauma and tragedies of her, is that. And, you know, I like that we're showing some of these other pieces of her. because her character isn't just what happened afterwards, like the Banshee Queen and then becoming everything she was. I think having nuance with her character progression, and now we're moving past more of that villain trauma character arcs, and seeing where they're going to bring her next, because Sylvanas is so iconic and so important to so many people.
You? I honestly didn't factor for you.
Which is really interesting, because Zolototh keeps talking about taking things away from Ilaria, like her family, but you didn't account for the sister. Probably hoping that she couldn't, like, get out of the mall. Again, I'm very interested to see. I put out memes during the War Within with cosplay videos of, like, Sylvanas rolling up to 1v1 Zolototh, so this is, like, everything I wanted. It's not a full 1v1, but I do like her appearing to take on Zolototh. And again, there are things in the lore that say that the Void is afraid of Sylvanas and doesn't like her. So I'm very interested to see if they play with that at all.
Death comes for all, Zalata. Even your wretched kind.
I just love her aura farming for a minute and a half. That's great. I love Midnight because it feels very, like, elf fan service for people that have loved the Warcraft elves. Me being one of those people that love them very, very much. That's the whole reason I started playing World of Warcraft, and I cosplay many of them. I just have really loved and enjoyed this expansion. I really like the cinematic face they've given Verisa, because she looks a lot softer and a lot sweeter compared to Sylvanas, who has a harsher face and harsher features and sharper features. I like that. And I like seeing Verisa. You know, Verisa's kind of been on the back burner for a hot minute in Warcraft. I really hope we see her kids, because Verisa does have 2 kids. She has 2 twins that are a bit younger than Eretor. So I am hoping we do also see her kids, and her kids start to play a role as well, because we do have other Windrunners. But I just love them. My Windrunners. They're perfect. I have to make her new shoulders in her new, like, updated version, because I have her old one. This whole part is just so cute. Love that. Big fan. I just love her. I'm very interested to see too when Eretor starts talking about, I thought you couldn't go out of the maw, and Sylvanas is like, there's ways, but it takes their toll, and I wonder if that's like a power thing, a life energy thing, what exactly is that cost for her to, pop in and out, if that is something she can do, or is it that she gets punished for it when she goes back? Does Tyranda's owl, whose name is escaping me, know that she left, and there's a price for that. But I'm very excited to keep seeing her. They keep giving little pieces of, like, moving forward with Sylvanas, and I'm very excited to see all the Windrunners back together, because they've been separated for so very long, and watch their story continue to grow and unfold.
There are ways, nephew, but they do take their toll.
She's so pretty. I love her. My girl. I'm very excited to see how she continues and how the rest of Midnight continues. As I continue to I get very emotional over my Windrunners. They're so, oh, they're perfect. And I love her. And I love them. And now I guess we wait to see what the next chapter of this story is going to be, which is incredibly exciting. I'm glad this outfit of Sylvanas is getting more light and more screen time, because I've worn, when Shadowlands revealed this outfit, I wore it to events and people didn't exactly recognize it too much. And now that like this outfit has been seen a couple times, people are starting to recognize it more and more. And it makes me want to wear it more. Especially because this is a more comfortable Sylvanas out of all her armor sets. I also just love this design. I love the little elements of like different pieces being elements from her sister's outfits, their original outfits. The shoulders being a little bit of like an homage to Varisa, and the stomach piece being a little bit of an homage to Ilaria. At least that was my interpretation of it. But now my big question is, where is Nathanos? I mean, that's what I've been asking for like how many years now? 6? But that's what I really want to say. That's what I want to see also come back. I think it would be hecka funny, because Nathanos' character lore is also tied into Quel'Danas and Midnight. He was the only human Farst Rider and Ranger Lord. As you know, he has deep character lore with a lot of characters throughout Azeroth's history. He's kind of woven into all of them, and I think it'd be hecka funny to see him somehow in Midnight. He probably wouldn't. I think it'd be funny and fun. I just think he and Lorthamar. Lorthamar's like 2 out of 3 of these Windrunner boyfriends. I cannot. But yeah, I'm very excited to see where we go from here. And I love my girl. I'm glad they're now showing that she can pop up in Azeroth when needed. And I look forward to seeing more of where this, like, more Ranger General Sylvanas goes. Because I love her so much. That's my girl. Alright, until the next one.